Hello everyone, and welcome back to Wargame Red Dragon with a 4v4 for you guys today that was played, I think, in-house. It was a big party, though, all 8 of us, and I actually have 3 other people with me here to comment. So we have Osama Bin Lifting, who was on the Red 4 side, and then we also have Viet Cong and Ghost, who are just sort of friends of the channel and have played some games with us. So it's going to be a little bit crazy for commentary as far as that goes, but I hope you guys enjoy. As for the actual game start, I'm playing South Africa Moto on Son of Juche, and my whole intention was to get up and into India and hopefully do some sort of slugfest there that would favor motorized, but the game sort of doesn't quite go that way, so I don't know if you guys all want to introduce yourselves or anything like that, but yeah, let's see.
Yeah, Ghost here, he's actually Mr. Ghosty on number 2 on the ranked ladder right now. Ex-Field Marshal.
Which is, I think not actually correct.
Yeah,
although he did trick me. I thought it was, so, you know, he popped into my Discord, I'm sitting there going, oh man, it's Ghosty, the man himself. It's a very exciting moment for me, you know.
I never claimed it. I just let y'all think what you want to think.
So, something, I guess, just as this game went, I think, since Osama, you were playing red here, 3 people on the right-hand side, 1 person on the left. What prompted that decision?
Usually people try to fight over India, and it gets really expensive. So I basically was telling the team just to take the strat where I hold the 2 1-pointers on, you know, that left side.
Delta Alpha.
While the 3 people try to just steamroll through to hotel.
The hot and cozy.
The issue is, but the issue is, there were 2 people on our team that didn't know how to play the map, I guess, or just knew it just in general. And,
well,
but it's fine. You know, it ended up working out okay.
I mean, that's the good and the bad of sort of in-house games and things like that. They're not public lobbies where you never know what you're gonna get, but sometimes you do know what you're gonna get, and it's like, I mean, I was very much not nearly as good as I am right now, and still have a way to go. A couple months ago, and the way I got better was doing games like this with expert players, and yeah, it brings people down a little bit in the moment, but I think, you know, seeing these games played, being part of them really does help people come along. So, Bauchika, Outrun, and Delta were the newer players in the Red 4 team, but Quicksilver and Osama Bin Liftin were sort of the most experienced players here. So that's how we did our own balancing in this game. And, you know, sometimes those work out really one-sided, sometimes they work out to be a little bit in the middle. And Quicksilver's opener, along with Delta here, was really scary. Double T80 lots of stuff. And I was sitting there going, okay, all of my units are in India. We have 1 player, Wonton, also known as Byron Joe, who's about to get just completely smacked here. It was a really scary moment.
Yeah, because that triangle forest right there, that's actually really important on this map.
This one right here?
Oh my god, the B5.
Yeah, I guess I can see...
Oh no.
Yeah, B5. Where does it actually drop? I don't see the...
You just missed it.
Oh,
You just missed
oh my god. Oh, that's brutal. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I missed that. That was... What, 400 points in kills, probably? All the vehicles?
Not as much. I think it was mostly Rovite and Zelda that
Yeah, it was
died.
mostly Rovaid, but still, like that.
It's destruction
That's-
born.
T80 and is that Cluster right there?
Yep.
Yeah, well, and that was our little bit of revenge, I guess, and you can see I'm kind of spreading out in response to this, and we haven't really been showing it, but Osama, you've been playing over here against Maple 83 along with some of my helicopters. Did these actually help out at all for the, well, did they hurt at all, or they did? Okay.
They were kind of scary, because I was going to be a little more aggressive. I was playing straight Poland, so it was just, I don't have good ATGM. I don't have smoke from the tank, so it was a little hard to, it was a little hard to play in the open part of the map, especially against the US.
Yeah, I mean, Poland National...
I really wanted to really get an aggressive early start to slow down the advance.
Makes sense.
Give something for Canadian to chew through, as opposed to just keeling over and getting stuck in Delta.
Yeah, so the forward Spotto, the forward Mi-17s, like lots of good tools there, but... so these were my first 2 buys, the Rule Vulcan, the Beta 87. For that reason, I was sitting over there going, okay, there's Sokals, there's things like that. I think the Rule Vault can take them. But then over here, we have an entire advancing column. So this, I really liked it. Did you guys tell Outrun to do that, or was that his own sort of plan?
No, and the issue was you kind of spotted it really early on. You actually spotted it earlier in the season.
Yeah,
too.
I think we saw it when it was about here.
Once you see that, it's kind of like you probably should change your plan. It's really easy to just, you know, buy a couple things and defend it.
Yeah, I mean it gets very close, but I think as you say, like one thing,
No,
it's
but
so
even if
far.
you get to the base, even if you get to the base, then what?
That's
Can't
like
do
several
anything.
hundred points of your opener that's gone to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's taken that long. It's right
It
next
could
to your
have gone
opponent's air
Mike
spawn.
instead.
Yeah,
It
and
could
then
have pushed
like
across Mike, and that would have been a lot better.
Yeah, this
time
would have been
that-
devastating.
Even if it works, the time it spends driving across the map, you're
It's 6
you're-
minutes still.
you're
So
losing.
let's just
Yeah,
look
like you're
here for a second at Outrun. I mean, this is a longer game, so we won't pause too much. But Charioteers, Pion, Ito 90.
About like 300 or 400 points of stuff.
Yeah, Ito 90 there as well. If this all was up in Mike right now, I think you're right. I think that would be very hard to recover from, particularly with the anti-air from the Itos, because like a map this big, people are responding with helicopters. We already see that now with the bows, and with my Rule Volks over on the other side. So.
Well, the whole point is that people would collapse from that triangle. You know,
Yeah,
Quicksilver
through
from
here.
Triangle Forest would collapse and sandwich
Hotel.
through it. No, the guys between him and Mike.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, so that
so
way you get a crossfire. And that,
Jeez.
crossfires are really important actually because it causes tanks to auto-rotate, and I know all the wargamers love
side
the
shots and tank
auto-rotating
facing.
function. You know, tanks just showing rear armor to like the most important thing.
Yeah. No, I didn't even think of that. If you guys had, turned right corner here and come through Mike, and all we have is a single Who's Out End from Honda Hun. So now we do actually have the column arriving, and it got clustered. There goes the Ito, I'm pretty sure. And then this is like it's gonna be enough. The I Shermans in particular they're basically the same as Charioteers
and
and
I mean
function.
that's what kind of like. I like the idea, but I don't think there was enough meat to it. Like, yeah, you have quad stacks and Charioteers, but any decent tank or even infantry like those Panther Grand Force, they're gonna one shot them. And
Yeah.
those tanks are gonna take them
And
out
think
as
about
well.
If they
the
don't get
economy of
stunned.
it because 400 points at the very start of the game, it kind of compounds over time, right? So 400 points at the start of the game is probably worth like 600 or 800 points at this point of the game.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, we're
And then-
sort of getting
and then
established.
Even then, like on this large of a map, like if you look at the spawn zone, like even if he does make it to the spawn, like he has a massive area to look for that CVM.
CV, yeah.
Right.
Like he has to drive for that's like half of some other like 1v1 2v2 maps right there.
I guess you'd almost have to bring a command vehicle with you just to try to.
Yeah,
decap
100%.
this.
Yeah,
Like,
that
that's
would be
the
a
only
bad
thing that would make
idea.
it worth it.
This was also pretty scary. So my Pathfinders get killed by a Fagot team, and then I mean we had nothing in front of us with Hotel, so I was really curious why this didn't get pushed at the time.
Yeah, I was.
So
that's
Chamahos, Lee Rent, like if these
interesting.
guys had been
Did two,
forward,
UMs die?
they might have. I don't see them
Look
here.
at the cluster. Look at the cluster where they're
Yeah, look-
clustered.
Yeah, it might have gotten them both.
I don't
Oh.
see them.
Yeah, I don't see them. I don't really know where they went. If we take a look, maybe they got pulled back somewhere.
Yeah, I think maybe it got rotated.
They were from Delta, so let's take a look at Delta's units. And
I believe they were from Quicksilver.
uh,
Because
he's not
Wait,
playing
Quick's playing North
Soviets.
Korea.
Right.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, so I don't see him on here. They must have gotten killed. Maybe the cluster bomber did get them. We just can't see them. They're charred corpses on the battlefield at all. But yeah, this. I mean, looking from your guys' perspective, the right side where it's sort of 1 versus 1.5, this looks a little bit scary. But here, I mean, seems good so far to me. So
Yeah,
Like-
there's a lot of stuff just sitting.
yeah,
too far back.
Yeah,
Like,
if
there's
the-
definitely a lot of opportunity to be pushing across that valley and Mike there.
yeah, and you
Like,
can
if
see.
you look in between that valley, there's not much.
Oh yeah,
There's
yeah.
a
I mean,
mortar or two, and that's it.
and some of it's
I-
ooey backline stuff with the mortar, with the Roland 3, the Oshkosh. You don't want that stuff getting shot.
Honestly, I think the biggest key with Conquest is you keep pushing until you get contact. Sitting back passive like this can be kind of detrimental.
Yeah.
You should be basically, pushing until you see enemy troops or basically taking fire.
I
I'm
think
curious.
one.
what did you do
Suicidal
with
way.
your-
Yeah,
Sorry?
what
not
did you do with your stuff
suicidal.
in,
That's
in
me.
India?
I'm the kind
Uh,
of suicidal push.
Yeah, so my stuff in
No.
India, I basically just fanned it out. So I have lots of autocannons around the side, some Ruakots and other sort of recon there. SASF, probably a bit too heavy here, just covering, because I was expecting late game helicopters or things like that. By the way, first attempt to infiltrate into Charlie. I wish I'd been able to get better use of it, but at the same time, this is holding the center of the map decently well, and would give me enough time to respond if things started to go poorly. So,
Yeah, because the whole point of avoiding India is, we kind of walk around how much. I don't know how much invested in there, but it's probably at least like 300 or 400.
Yeah, I mean, this was most of my opener. More like 600, I think. Because the Rattle 20s aren't cheap, the Rulecots weren't cheap, and then from here on out, I'm just trying to respond to other things, right? So you can see the pair of Pathfinders on the side, the Beta 90 and the Rule Volk coming over here as well, but this was really scary. And Wonton and I were talking in the chat at the time, and I kept telling him, we have to defend this forest. We have to.
Yes.
We absolutely have to. And it was really kind of difficult for us to both get our units up and in there. And that's just, I mean, team games are like that sometimes, where there's just miscommunications and such. But I think he was also concerned with the right side, because something just got shot down, a helicopter right there, which tells us that we don't have control over our own right flank, not even a little. Jeez. I think you guys were pretty up on this.
What this looks like is this whole game just looks like two teams like being very scared of each other. Like if you look on the right flank, it's very open. Everybody's kind of sitting there, and then if you look at the red perspective, they're also doing the exact same. Like there's a bunch of open ground with just no units. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's the defensive line.
It's a lot of people being very
like
scared.
Blitzwar says, the Maginot line.
Yeah.
I think it just comes down to, like Osama said, you got to push to contact and conquest, because at the end of the day, like you're going to you need the ground more than you need the troops.
Yeah, like if you, I mean, it's a delicate balance, right? Like if you lose a lot of points early on, you will get pushed in the late game. It's just how it's gonna go. On the other hand, if you can take ground and still not pay for it in too much blood, then you can still hold into the late game. It's like, I almost view it as the take and hold strategy versus the grind them down strategy, right? Two very different things.
Yeah.
By the way, my trackers have started their journey.
You switched to neutral real quick.
Okay.
I had something drive right past the road, but because you're at a depression, I can't see you.
Yeah, look at that.
There's a depression down there.
Yep, that's the little hill. Would he even, I mean, vehicle at that range? I guess he would.
Oh yeah, I'd probably.
Yeah, that's fair. That's accidental sneakiness. I like it so much. Yeah, so anyway, back to neutral. This is sort of, I mean, just look at that difference in points. So Outrun is starting his attack in. I've been trying out the Cheetah D's, by the way. First off, his guns were offline, so all of my stuff turns. And then I've gotten fire at position by these guys so many times, and I have never really done it to others. This is the first game where I was really giving it a try, so we'll see if it works. But PGZ 95, 70 point AA pieces, and boom.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, the first one completely missed. I don't know, what's the economy on using those? Like, do you have to sort of send out a bunch, or does one work? How reliable is that?
One would work.
Yeah, one is good enough.
Because
honestly.
if it hits near, it will stun the thing that you want to kill, and then whatever on the ground will kill the things.
Oh wow, you guys really had nothing at this.
Yeah, we had nothing. I mean, let's look at the red again from Outrun's perspective. He's doing that attack there. Pions, Charioteers, HH-10s. I mean, the helicopters are too far forward is the thing, so they're going in blind. But compare that to our side of the field. Yeah, I know who I'd rather be right now. So this was pretty scary. And then at the same time, right, like Osama's pushing into Alpha. We've lost the middle zone on this side, and Maple is, he's doing his best, but he needs some time, right? So we're up 178 points, but it very much didn't feel like we'd be able to keep it, particularly if we, if Mike got capped by you guys, and then if we lose Hotel, which Hotel has nothing too, right? So this it kind of bewildered me the whole game why we hadn't lost Hotel yet. So
I'm surprised that Quicksilver is not like pushing that hard, because
I think it comes down to Quick doesn't have a lot of infantry to push with. He has the tank Shasha,
fire position,
like the Chamahos and stuff, but
yeah, but
I think he was also maybe helping my side a bit.
Ah, was he? Let's take a look.
Check.
And this
I don't know if
is
that's at this point yet.
not quite. I mean, it is a hard map to split your perspective on, so I was playing sort of this high most of the time, because I was sitting there going, okay, I mean, I have some units over here, this is my command vehicle, and then just trying to do anything over on this side was just crazy, so...
But Quicksilver was buying planes, and, like, all the planes that flying around try to, like, shoot at something, that doesn't exist.
Yeah, I mean, the plain tab
Chamaho,
is...
the one with the igloos?
Yeah, no, it's the 5, I think. Which, I think it's the 4 that has the igloos? So those were
That wasn't
Chamaho...
4. I
Oh,
think
was
you're
it?
No,
right.
no, no, no.
Like,
Threes are the
just
ones with
killed
the
it.
igloos.
Oh. Yeah, it definitely wasn't a 3.
Fours are the 90 point.
This was really goofy too, so my rule vault's coming over here. I love these Ingways. I don't know if they fly the same speed as other stuff, but...
Oh, I'm sorry. Fives are the 90 point ones.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
So was that the one with the... I didn't
Yeah,
really see it.
I'm pretty sure it was the one with the igloos for like the half second I saw it.
Excuse me, our resident Red Dragons expert.
I'm sorry, I'm doing North Korea for our mods, so it's actually like so confusing.
Gotcha. By the way, let's do a shout out for that anyway, just for anyone who does happen to see it. The Blitzwar community mod on their Discord and from Blitzwar the player and his channel. Great place to be, great place to learn the game, meet some people, have a good time, and the Blitzwar community mod is a lot of fun to watch. I've not yet had the pleasure of playing it, but it seems like a lot of fun, so...
Very
Maybe
fun
you should do a
mod.
video
Very
sometime.
fun mod.
Yeah.
Come up North and South Korea.
We should. I've been meaning to do the mod for a while. I'm just, I hit second lieutenant not that long ago. I am hovering about there, maybe playing some more ranked games soon. But I felt like I really wanted to wrap my head around more of the base game first before I started doing things with mods. So, trackers, by the way, making their way back into Charlie,
Oh
and
yeah, that was the bane of my existence.
we'll pop over there as soon as I get a little farther on the
Yeah,
minimap.
later in the
but
game, we'll see.
this was something I wanted to get your opinion on as well. So I have Rover 106s, I have Ferret Mark II 106s, which is the 1 armor ones, not really sure if they're worth it. Then Double Rattle ZT3A1. Not a lot of recon here, I was relying on my allies Tiger and the AMXs, but this is all we have to try and retake Mike. And at this point in the game we're sitting there talking to each other going, if we don't do this at this point, it's going to be really impossible to do it later on, because the planes and all that were... Yeah, it's just increasingly oppressive the longer that goes on, right? I mean, even the... What is this? Oh, man. Yeah, so I'm curious, if you guys were on the Blue Fort perspective right now, how would you have handled this sort of counter push?
So open, I would just take 8 GMs and some heavy tanks with some infantry on.
Gotcha.
And then the main thing is like recon by fire in this situation, because like the line of sights on this are really weird with the hilltops and stuff, and there's a lot of like little bush lines and stuff that everything can hide in. So your best friend on this map would be like reservists. Like I saw you brought Bergamog to India. If you had a couple of those over in that field, you can just walk them forward and they'll spot things for you.
Gotcha.
And you can have your other stuff engage them, especially with your. I think you had 2 of the Rattle ZT-23s.
Yeah, the ATGMs. I've lost them. They're right here. Yep.
Also, you shouldn't
Yeah.
class act like that. You should have like split them out.
Yeah.
Firstly, you get bombed easily. Secondly,
If you're
you split them out, it looks scarier.
Yeah, if you're spamming in a unit, you generally want to split them, because sometimes if a unit is lagging with that quad stack, it'll actually slow the whole unit down. Like it's
yeah.
stuck in the mud or whatever.
And then
D-track.
another thing
Or takes a different path.
that is like worth mentioning is when like one unit in that stack gets stunned, the rest of them will get stunned as well. So instead of one unit getting stunned and the other 3 shooting back, you're gonna have all 4 of them being stunned at the same time.
Is that true?
Yeah,
Oh.
I just watched it happen with his rovers.
Well, it could have been an AOE.
Ooh.
No, it
Well-
was they were getting shot by the Sergei.
Saddest Syria, I think I've seen in a while there. And my Cheetah D, by the way, I don't know why he wasn't listening to me. I was trying to get him to evac for a long time. I think sometimes I hit C instead of V to evac.
And morale gets shared with
Yeah.
Well, no, the issue is that they're so close to each other. I think it's really the formation that's causing all the stunning and panic.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Split them, they're a little more spread.
And then at this point I wasn't even really microing this, which was a bit of a problem. I was trying to go in with Cheetah D's in another fire position, which I don't think really worked out. Yeah, no, they're both still alive. I thought they were the 70-point ones instead of the 35, and I saw an opportunity.
Main thing Cheetah D's are great for is infantry. Like infantry out in the open or anything like that. That's what they're great for. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, you got my base.
Yep, and I just set the trackers right there, turned off their guns, and was sitting there going, let's do something about that. So I think we're about to see the Cesar by... Or not Cesar, Rhino, yeah. It's basically Cesar.
It was so precise, too, like...
Yeah.
I was okay, it's a fucking Rhino.
I take 1 upvetted in this deck because I mean, come on, it's SA Moto. It's not exactly like the world's most competitive deck, but because of that, I tend to find that I want to keep most of my points forward, and I don't really ever buy 2 Rhinos. Right? It's 120-ish points each, I think. Maple was buying a Paladin too, so I don't want to spend that all. And then this was just sort of I mean, I had them. I didn't feel like they would survive if I put them in here. So I was just trying to exploit into the backline on both sides of the field if I could. So Ruakots, more Ruakots, just had it in everywhere that I possibly could get. Trying to pull away pressure from Mike, which is going better now. So we have the Gimmels, Bedouins. I would still like to see more anti-air forward, but my SASF 90 got smacked. So that's why they're just sort of chilling back there. And then Delta's MI-28 was the last thing I wanted to see. Oh, man.
I love what you're doing with the Ruicat, because that is what exactly South Africa has to do.
Yeah.
You have to like running around.
If you don't,
not even attack move, just fucking fast move that shit.
yeah. I mean, we killed a T80U, I think, the Ruacat 105
really?
there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what is that? 80 points, 100 points? Not really sure.
T80U or UM?
Not a UM, a T80U.
I think that's 110. Right?
Oh yeah.
It's like the medium tank.
So
No,
that.
that's 110 in our mod.
Oh jeez. Yeah, another Blitzboard community.
Yeah, it's 150. It's 150.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah. So anyway, the Magotch Gimmels definitely needed some anti-air support, and the Draken here from Wonton is moving up to do that. But you can see what I said earlier, like, we were retaking Mike, but we still didn't have much of anything going into this forest. And so that's what my Rovers are moving over for. I, at this point, was spending all of my cash, and then some, and now we have the Rhino firing in. I wish we could see the circle here, but I just want to see the dispersion of those shots because
it was very, very tight.
Yeah.
I saw my dead CV and I'm like, I almost thought like it got like RPG because of that's how tight the craters were.
Oh yeah, we already got the kill. Yep, 1, 2, 3.
I think the Rhino has the. Is it the best or is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
It's the best. You headshot
and
the enemy CV.
Yeah.
And I upvet it, right? So.
Yeah, and he upvetted, so it's just super accurate.
Yeah, and the trackers are just going to keep moving around. So we've decapped Charlie. We're taking in a +2, 17 minutes left. Well, almost 18 minutes left. This is the first moment in the game where I thought to myself, maybe we won't entirely lose this flank. Maybe we actually can stand the test of time here because, I mean, +2 with 17.5 minutes left. This is going to be hard.
Very doable. Well, nothing's very doable for you.
Well, no, I meant for red.
Yeah.
So what were you thinking sort of at this point with the base nonsense, with the alpha fight against Maple? Looks like kind of turning a little bit. What was going through your head for how to fix it?
I was kind of shitting my pants because there was longbows, there's super cobras, there's M1A2s.
Oh man.
I'm like, there's only one way to save this.
Yeah.
And, that was try to overload his aim, but I was.
Yeah, so that's what the MI-17s are doing.
I was throwing away all my transport. Usually I like stack them in the back and send them one at a time, but I was like, okay, I gotta buy some time while the CV's restoring. Going back to the main base and finally calling in some units.
Which I didn't expect this to be here at all. I was just, I worked my trackers, I think, all the way around to the other side of Charlie, and I never thought to check here. So, unexpected positions, but, oh, this is rough. 24W.
This late into the game, it's heal rush is kind of bad.
It's hard to do, right? Because people just
The rush will always takes your day.
Yeah.
Well, it just buys me some time. It scares Canadian a little bit. I'm out of ATGM teams. I went through like 2 cards of
Faggot teams, yeah.
I don't have any. I don't really have any like heavy tanks to deal with this. I have Torties, but without smoke, it's the longbow just eats me up.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason.
It's a little tough.
There's a reason Poland national is not like.
No, it's doable. I want to say on smaller maps, but like this is so open with no cover.
It almost seems like USA is a pretty good counter to it too, like because of the longbow, because of some of those tools that they have. That Poland just.
I mean, yeah, Poland was just not designed to be alone. I kind of like Czech national and each German a little bit better.
Gotcha. And then we do have some scary stuff going on here too. So Hotel is finally getting pushed up, just slowly, incrementally tightening that noose. T90S, at the time, we had no answer for. So the only thing that we're doing is just throwing chaff in front of it, hoping to keep him happy, shooting at 5-point boxes for as long as possible. But
As it was you.
yeah. Oh,
Can you go over that Chamaho 4 real quick?
yes, Chamaho 4.
It does have the
It has-
Strellas.
Oh yeah,
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 yeah. 60-point Strela 2Ms, of course 3 HE power, not a lot of good accuracy, but odd side note, I never noticed that the accuracy and stabilizer were the same on this thing. That's
It's the case. Well, I think with almost all the heads, if I'm not mistaken. I
Yeah.
don't really know for sure, but I'm pretty sure it's almost always stabilized like that.
and then look at this line. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Maginot
I mean,
line indeed.
it looks like a lot, but it's honestly all you need is a medium tank or
Yeah.
anything like that, and that line collapses.
You'd still have some problems just because of the angles of fire, right? So if I had a unsupported tanks coming through here, I mean, they're gonna get shot from various.
Yeah, you obviously will need some recon and stuff, but again, that's where those reservists come into effect. Just something to soak up shots while you slowly work your way through everything.
Well, Terra Moosties are basically like reservists on vehicles.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they
That's
are.
true. I
They're
love to take
pretty
Rescas
good.
and Korima in them as well because you get 4 recoilless rifles for a single double squad. Like,
That's a lot of Burger King.
yeah, so this is why I didn't bring in more Bogamach earlier. Is the Caspier K cars at 15 points. This was something I was just
Oh,
trying
yeah.
here because the idea was how can I get as many autocannons as possible. So you shove Bogamach in.
definitely
I
a
think
good
it's fine,
idea.
and
Yeah, it's fine.
I
I
don't know
think
about
it's a good idea.
Yeah.
when there's like so many people in like in a concentrated area, it might be a little tougher.
Yeah.
Well, and you just
especially in
see-
team games, you run into a lot of tanks, so autocannons aren't that useful.
Like that single Chamaho 4 killed 4 of my 15-point autocannon units. It's the same as the value of the tank right there. 60 points in quad stack, and this one just there's no way I was gonna beat that with that. So But-
It definitely can be really good. I just think that this map doesn't really let it shine as much because your autocannons aren't that effective as fire support.
It's very
Your-
open.
Gotcha.
It's very,
Your
very
best fire support is going to be tanks or anything like that.
So the
I had
trackers
many
are all the way back here.
PT-76s
Yeah,
looking for you.
yeah, they're coming out. But I could spot the Danas, and these guys are they're 90-point little snacks there if I can get them with the Rhino. I think I got 2 of them in the end.
I think
Um,
near the end, by the end you got 2.
Yeah, which was a little bit disappointing because I was really hopeful I could get more, but you were very responsive on moving them. Which, I mean, I guess that's to be expected if you know that there's something in your base. It's just don't stay still, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it should have been expected. But T90S here from Quicksilver is panicked. I'm not really sure what hit it.
Pro gamer tips is you shoot the fobs, because that is the only thing that can't move.
Yeah, but I don't know. It was an in-house game.
Well,
like,
if I was just basically going to try to counterfire if they were trying to kill fobs. And at that point, I think it was so late in the game, I was like, you can kill the fobs if it's only 10 minutes left.
yeah, right. Like you can sort of bridge that gap with resupply trucks. It's expensive, but you can do it. And then, it's kind of ironic for me to say because I have trackers in the back end of your base, but I don't like to fob snipe in house games in particular. I just think it just makes people annoyed. Like this will make people annoyed too, for sure. But there's various levels of that, and I don't know. I'm sneaky. Quicksilver is the first person who ever taught me how to improve at this game, and he's very good. He's a notorious moto player, and so some of that just be everywhere all at once is just deeply ingrained in how I play the game. So Honda Hun and Wonton / Byron Joe here holding the line as Bauchika Outrun and Delta were pushing in, and this is another sort of thing where I was sitting there going, okay, I guess we're losing this again now. I guess that's just gone.
It's interesting Red 4 force composition.
Yeah, well, I mean, these are the 2 newer players in the Red 4 team, right? So, and Honda Hun is no slouch at all. Very good player. And so I think it's one of those where, you have to do pushes like this a couple of times until you figure out that you can't quite do it with that, and go from there. Like, I did like the prevalence of recon with the PT-76Bs. I like these guys a lot at 15 points. But there wasn't enough punch. Which is weird, because there's so many units here, but they still don't have quite as much punch as you'd expect. Man, sad plane. Very sad plane. Yeah, so we're sort of getting to the point, I'm going to speed up here just a little bit, where recovery probably is not really on the table for the Red 4 team. But, yeah, I mean, if we look over here on the left, Alpha is nearly countercapped. I'm actually kind of surprised that there was no CV by there.
I sniped one of them, I believe.
Ooh, okay.
earlier. Or
Gotcha.
maybe upcoming, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I was just basically trying to buy time, just keep these 2 points held.
Yeah.
if not, it's going to be like a really bad tick.
I mean, I think one thing that's fair to say for this game is, as far as the Red 4 team's concerned, you definitely achieved your goal. Delta Alpha capped the... Yeah. Like, very
Oh, I
nice.
think you just killed another Dana.
Did I? Yeah. There's the shots in the back there, yeah. But I mean, this is successful. So you had one player here for the Red 4 team, one player here for our team, and you had 2/3 of this side for the majority of the game, if not all of it, pretty much. It's just the right-hand side where that 3v2, 2.5 really didn't quite work out.
BU there.
Where?
In a T90S.
Ooh, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. They did have punch. It just wasn't quite up with the front, which... Oh,
Oh, never mind.
2A5. Yeah, okay, fair. I mean, one difference
Yeah,
I'd
it's
comment on here is the
Very bad
BU
push.
was right in the open, not a lot of smoke, and Honda Hun's 2A5 has an ocean of
that.
smoke to
I
work
mean, he's
through.
using that hill too.
It also, yeah, it also
Playing
has a
War
ridge line
Thunder,
where-
basically.
Yeah. you just can poke up that ridge line and
Take a
shoot
shot.
once and then poke back
Pretty
down.
realistic.
Yeah, well, I mean, if it works, right, and the Verkenning versus a 62G, Verkenning probably wins,
I saw a
although...
T90S somewhere here.
Yeah, so Quicksilver's had a T90S over on this side for a while, and it got a really long kill list, I'd say. It just never actually pushed up past the Triangle Forest right there, I think, which was definitely a hard thing, and this was just kind of goofy. I didn't really know what to buy, and there wasn't a lot of heavy armor left.
But Red Push doesn't have any AA, so you
Does it
just
not?
need to buy 1 helicopter. No.
Let's see. Oh yeah, no. I mean, that's pretty much gone now at this point.
Yeah. Always buy AA.
Yeah, if you think you have enough, you're wrong. It's kind of like Recon in that. I mean, okay, well, I guess Recon is more of, if you think you have enough, you're wrong. You can actually have too much AA, it's just hard. Like the other day, I started off with 2 Gepard A2s in my base. That was too much AA. You ever gotten ranked games and people start the countdown timer inside of like 10 seconds?
You mean like there's 10 seconds left, or?
No, like you're 10 seconds into
Within the
deploying
first?
and yeah.
Yeah, it usually means a helo rush.
Well, that's what this guy did to me the other day, and he didn't helo rush. So I put 2 Gepards in my base because I was sitting there going, okay, helo rush, let's see how this goes. And it was the game where at the time of recording today, not when this goes up, it's the game I put out today, the weird South Africa game. And I think his whole deployment was just quad stacks of Bergamot, and he hit go. It was truly strange. It was a weird one. So if it,
yeah, it could have been like a fast deploy.
yeah.
Some people already kind of memorize what they want to put down on what maps.
I mean, Rara is infamous for that.
The PT-76
in
is
team
chasing
games.
you.
Yes, he is. He is. Did you see the trackers already at this point?
No! I've been I literally queued up like a million attack moves across my base with the PT-76.
Man, that's so upsetting. I'm so
I know.
sorry. I mean,
They were patrolling everywhere, so I had to like kind of hide my Donnas.
Look,
in the city
they're
and
running
hope
out
for
of
their-
fuel. They've been driving around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
look at that.
they've been driving around, dude. Yes, I put my Donnas in the city, hoping for the line of sight to block you from seeing me.
and it did work, but you have 1 left,
There's
3
only one
originally.
left, it's so sad.
Yeah. Oh, is that the steaming carcass of a... Yep, that's the steaming
I
carcass
think
of a
so.
Dana.
Yep, he didn't get in the city, so.
Yeah. Ah, man, this is such good CV placement. I really like it. That's just creative.
We gotta be a little sneaky. Oh, okay, fine.
Oh, you see him.
So I
I
jumped...
track, so I can't even kill you.
Right, and then if you didn't even see that, you're about to see these.
Yeah.
I wish you could turn that function off. I didn't want to capture these because, you know, for those of you who don't really know about this, if you have your units next to your opponent's resupply and they don't have anything nearby, you automatically capture them. So these were automatically captured, and that sort of gives away the whole game, right? So it's possible that Osama might have missed the first couple shots there from the PT-76B if he was looking up forward at the front. You're not going to miss losing 2 of your resupply trucks.
Yeah, you see blue in your base, you're like, oh, what the hell's going on here?
Right. So another sort of tip that I got a long time ago, and still need to work on doing, is if you've been watching this, odds are you've looked over at the minimap a fair amount. It's easier to do that during the replay than it is during the game itself. And if you do, then you'll see stuff like this, right? Like, from Osama's perspective, he'll see a couple of blue there in his base right now. But if you're just looking at the field, you won't necessarily notice when something from the other team pops up in your base, and that difference can make or break games. So it's something you really have to do. At this point, by the way, I think Quicksilver's push had just waited too long, so we're actually pushing him back now just because of the value that we've gotten incrementally in Mike, which is really unfortunate, because I still think inside of the first 5 minutes, you guys could have probably taken Mike and Hotel and forced us to fight over, this section of Ridge the entire game. But sometimes that's just how it goes. Let's go through the ending just a little bit quick. We're in the last couple minutes, and I want to see some unit highlights. Also, big thank you to all 4 of, well, no, geez, did it again.
All 8 almost.
All 3 of our commentators, as well as the 8 people playing the game. Viet Cong, Ghost, and Osama Bin Lifton were with us today for the video.
Ghosty, Mr. Ghosty.
Not quite Ghosty, and we'll see if I can keep him around, do some other stuff. So, alright, well actually that'll be the game. Thank you all for hanging around, and we'll see you again real soon.